fascinating how much more difficult this instrument is. All right, well, let's get started. We got a good number of people logging in and checking us out, and some of you know me and some of you don't. So let me hold this up so I know where to cut off the weirdness. My name is Gary. I am the Denver Guitar Orchestra's founder and conductor, and mostly I teach fingerstyle guitar and a tiny bit of classical and a tiny bit of folk and a tiny bit of rock and a tiny bit of this and that on guitar, but mostly fingerstyle. And so if you are joining us for the first time, know that it's a 3-level process. Level 1 is for brand new guitar players. Level 2 is for guitar players who get it and they're like, yep, this is the way I want to play for the rest of my life, probably. And then level 3 is where you're really actually playing well. And so level 3, those songs are all public domain, so I don't have to worry about them sitting around on the internet. Level 4 is where the good stuff is, and so I don't just leave that stuff laying around. It's all copyright protected by, the writers and so on, and we want to make sure that they're treated fairly. So that stuff you have to send me an email about and let me know, hey, I want to play Tears in Heaven or whatever, Imagine or whatever else is on that list. The list contains the names of all the songs that are in level 4 right now. I am going to be publishing another book pretty soon here with 30 more songs in there, so we'll actually be up to 60 songs on level 4. And then level 5 is when we do instrumental and multi-part songs for the orchestra. And so that's generally when guitarists decide, hey, I want a new adventure, I want to try something different, I want to try playing just parts of a song while other people are playing other parts of the song, and between all of us we end up with a very nice arrangement. So today we're going to study Simple Gifts on level 2. It's one of my all-time favorite songs, and I think hopefully by the time we're done with today, you'll have a good sense of how level 2 works and what's important and what's not important. I want to start obviously with the chords. These there's every single song in level 2 is a 2-chord song, so you're going to go from the main chord to its buddy and back. And again, the idea is just to get where you're super comfortable holding this and going. Just that. I mean, that's it. That's the real function of that. And to get where you can play it faster and faster at higher rates of speed. If you are a next level player and you're like, you know what, I can definitely do A and E without really thinking much about it. Why don't I do a bar chord of A and E, and find your A and your E up here somewhere and do from one bar chord to the other bar chord. A fun activity, if I'm starting with my A shape, I've got B here, C is here, here's D, and here's an E chord. Maybe I'll play Simple Gifts up here just to be entertaining myself, right? And so as you become a more advanced player, those bar chords become more and more and more important. And not certainly at level 2. I wouldn't expect that you would play bar chords very well. I want you to know what they are by the time you're done with level 2, but I don't want you to be good at them. I do want you to be good at playing the individual melody notes, which is the guitar melody line that's on the paperwork in front of you. And then by the time you're in level 2, as we finish up that class, you're usually 8 weeks into guitar, and that's a great time for you to start playing your first Tough Acts assignment. And so we'll talk about how chord and melody work together as a fingerstyle piece here. And hey, Michael, glad you made it. So the big idea on level 2 is I need to get from this chord to this chord and back. That's the main idea. Second idea is I need to start figuring out how that works with melody. Melody, we learned how to play melody in level 1, and so we will also be doing that here today. Again, the expectation basically at level 2 is, yep, you can read tablature. So let's go through the chord idea here. So here's your A chord, and I'm going to take this off of my mat here for just a second. You've got your A chord, index, middle, ring. And generally, you're just going to play 5 strings down. That's what we want. Okay. The next thing that comes along with that in this song is an E chord. So to get to E chord from A chord, I'm going to chase my index finger. I'm going to move him third string, first fret. And then these two guys are just going to jump up to the 5th and 4th strings. And we can play all 6 strings of that. It's an E chord. chord. And then to get back, again, I'm going to chase my index finger. These guys come up, index finger goes back where he goes. These guys come back down. Okay, so A and E and A and E. That's what we're working on. Okay. When you are a new player, that's a lot. When you've been around a while, not such a big deal. But we forget how hard that is. If you're a more advanced player, instead of strumming, which I'm going to do to present the song, you're going to be doing either a 4-finger pluck. I would do strings 5, 4, 3, and 2 for the A chord. And then when I go to E chord, I'm going to use strings 6, 5, 4, and 3. That's next level. When you know you've got this, you're no longer losing sleep over this. Then we're going to start working on getting your right hand together. In fingerstyle, your right hand is everything. In all of guitar, your right hand is everything, except if you are playing in with a pick, and then you might as well. You don't need a right hand at all. You just need a motion, right? Now. The level beyond that is you're going to be playing the arpeggio pattern. Okay, and I did write out an arpeggio pattern on this song, and this is exactly what it is. You're playing on A chord, you're playing the middle 4 strings, thumb, index, middle, ring, thumb, index, middle, ring. And when you get to the E chord, you're going to move up to the top 6, 5, 4, and 3 and do the same pattern. Bum, 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 1, 2, 3, 4. You're just going to do that twice in each measure. And I don't think I made any changes to that except for the very last measure, obviously. You're going to finish up on an A chord and an A note. And then put a little harmonic on it. Okay, so we'll talk about harmonic when we get there. Okay, so that's what you're doing as a chord player, beginning chord player, probably just strumming. Next level player, talking about a 4-finger pattern, and next level player beyond that is these arpeggio patterns. Okay, let's go through and sing the song. As always, I mentioned I got no business singing. I know I'm terrible. You know I'm terrible. We're all in agreement that I am terrible, and we're gonna sing it anyway. Hi Jim, welcome. Glad you're here today. I'm getting started on simple gifts. All right. So what I've been told, and I actually find it rather helpful, is when you're going to have to sing, find your first note. Have your voice as best you can match that tone. 'Tis a gift, and then you would start. Okay, that's why those pickup notes are helpful, to be honest. Okay, song is in 4, so you're going to give me 4 beats per measure, whatever that means for you. But basically, don't ignore what's going on in the melody and just play those 4 beats. Okay, let me see if I can get a decent. The lighting is all crazy today. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 'Tis a gift to be simple. 'Tis a gift to be free. 'Tis a gift to come down to where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in a place that is right, it will be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we won't be ashamed. To turn and turn, it will be our delight, till by turning and turning we come round right. Okay, so that's your song. That's the bass line. If you were taking folk style guitar, that's all you'd have to know. Those 2 chords and the words, right? And you're all set. Now we go to next level playing, which is playing the melody. If you know me and you're hanging out with a friend and they have a guitar, the thought is you're going to play the melody your friend is going to play the chords because most guitarists, that's all they ever learn. And then you're going to put those together. I'm going to adjust the lighting because I see I've got all these crazy reflections. Let's see if we can clean that up just a little bit for you guys. Okay. All right. Probably a little too dark. Yeah, it's all right. You only need to see my hands and see what's going on. Okay. And so next level is when we are playing the melody. If you're new to this, level 1 is where we learn how to read tablature. If you're already reading tablature just fine, you're in good shape for level 2. Okay. First notes are going to be 2s on the 4th string. Okay. And if I remember right, everything in the song is either a 1, first position, a 2, second position, 3, third position, and there's really no other notes. Okay. So everything will be, you want to try to keep your hand in first position the whole time. Start with the middle finger on the 2nd fret, 4th string. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3, oh, oh, 3, 2, oh, 2, oh, 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 2, oh, 2, oh, 1, 2, 2. 2, 1, 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 3, 2, oh, 2, oh, 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 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 2, 3, oh, 3, 2, oh, oh, 2, oh, 2, 3, 2, 2. 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 3, 2, oh, 2, oh, 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 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, oh, 2. You got a harmonic? Okay, probably sound better on, yeah, that'll sound fine. Okay, so, we'll play it through one more time. The idea is that you were able to keep up with me. If I was playing too fast, then you know that that's a song that you want to work on. If you're just missing it once in a while, then you know that you just need to go fix those places where you screwed up. So it's a difference when you're studying this music. Make sure you get a sense of, hey, am I blowing the whole entire piece, which means you're playing it too fast, or am I just blowing it in certain sections, which means you just need to work on those sections. And I'd say there are um, there are no right answers when it comes to that. Sometimes you can just fight a song for no reason. And so just be mindful as you're playing. Hey, I was playing that pretty well, except I blew this one spot. That you don't need to play the whole song again. Just go fix that one spot. If the whole time you're like, God, he's playing so darn fast, I'm missing all these notes or whatever, then that tells you, hey, I got to slow this thing down. On the website, every single song, every single piece of sheet music has an MP3 of that song. You can go download that onto your phone, use a tempo slowing app, and slow it down, and then practice to the metronome. What we have a tendency to do, is all musicians, is we have a tendency to really not enjoy that process of playing to a metronome, or sometimes playing with other people because it goes too fast, and we don't improve because of that. And so use some method where you get together with other people, or get together with the MP3, or get together with the metronome, or whatever it is, to kind of push you a little bit. Otherwise, we have this tendency to play until it gets hard, and then we slow way down to get through the hard part, and then we speed way up, and that's not ideal. That's not what we really want. We want to be able to play music. It doesn't matter if you're playing it slow. It matters if you're playing it at sort of a consistent pace. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to try to use my foot pedal as a foot pedal. And that page turn is beating me up a little bit today. So, all right, let's play through the melody one more time. Okay, this is your moment. If that's too hard, if you're like, I absolutely know I'm going to blow this, just play along with the chords. Okay, and just play with the chords. At least then you're playing something with another person, and that's going to make you better. Okay, so either play the chords or the melody, whichever you're working on. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's what we're after. That's playing about that speed. That's about as fast as you would need to play it anyway. I played the whole thing with my thumb, but if you were a next level player, you're thinking about playing it with these two fingers: index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, middle, index, or whatever you need to do to make your string crossings efficient. Okay. Sometimes you'll be working with three fingers if you are wanting to assign them to a string and just play those bottom three strings the whole time. You could, that's another activity, another source for something to work on that's kind of fun. And the third or most kind of highest level skill is stop reading tablature, right? You've got the sheet music there. Learn to read the melody line on that. I would say if you are a guitarist, you probably don't need to do that unless you're going to go into academia, where you're going to be talking about whether you have to read it. And if you aren't going into academia, yeah, a tablature, of course, is just fine. But if you are thinking, hey, I want to play classical music somewhere down the road, the expectation is, yeah, you can read the standard notation. And so I give you that as well to keep you moving forward on that. Standard notation, of course, provides you with a lot of very important information as a melody player and as a guitarist in general, because it tells you what note to play and how long to play it, whereas tablature just tells you, put your finger here and pluck it, okay? And so tablature has a weakness in the fact it doesn't tell you how long to hold a note, but tablature's strength is it tells you exactly where to put your finger. If you look at this particular finger pattern on these three strings, that notation and that notation are identical, and so that's what the weakness of standard notation in guitar is, that it doesn't necessarily tell you which frets to use. So working on thumb and three fingers, yeah, heck yeah, that's, I think that there is no amount of work that you can put in that is going to be poor, right? I mean, this thumb and these three fingers, if you decide you're going to be a cowboy and you're going to play a lot of boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, you're going to do a lot of that. And so getting comfy with that thumb and the three finger pattern, using them together and using them split apart, all of that's really good stuff, and stuff you're going to be working on as a guitar player. Okay, so now we have played the chords. Some of you played them as arpeggios, some of you just strummed them. Then we have worked on the individual melody line. So then we wrap it up every day. And this is the big stuff. This is the good stuff. This is the what you want to play as an adult. This is fingerstyle, when we are going to combine the melody and the chords and smash them together. In most cases, you're just going to grab the chord and play. You may need to modify your chord a little bit. Sometimes you'll pick up a finger. Sometimes you'll adjust it to a different spot. Sometimes you'll add a finger. We have a couple of places on this where you're going to add a finger. And so the idea is that you're getting so good at reading tablature and you can glance up and see what that chord is telling you to do, then all of it comes together in this nice, neat little package where you're playing both at the same time. This is the part where your brain turns off from all of your worldly cares, all of your problems in life go away, and now you're just playing guitar, and that's a good place to be. You notice I'm just now getting myself into proper positioning. I'm getting the guitar setting down here between my legs, getting it up against my body, getting a good sense of the neck moving up close to my face, and then making sure my thumb is not hanging out here. Every time I watch guitar videos, it just makes me mental, the amount of this going on for no reason. They're not doing it for anything other than making themselves look ugly. We're going to be getting in good position. Okay, all of this stuff makes it easier for you to play. The one thing I'll caution you on, you really want your wrist to be nice and straight and supple. Like if you dropped it down, it would just fall down directly like that. That's what is ideal. Unfortunately, when I play, I have a tendency to do one of these deals. I have this tendency to let my wrist get a little high, and so just know I'm not using that as a good example. That's an error that I'm working on and getting better at. Okay, all right, let's give it a try. We'll walk through the whole thing at a reasonable pace, and then we'll go back through and we'll play it together. Okay, so we're going to start off A chord. You're going to grab those 2 2s first. Then you're going to either strum or pluck these 3 notes, 0, 2, 2. If you strum it, you want to make sure to rest your thumb on the string you're not going to play. It's called a rest stroke, like that. If you are plucking, obviously, you're going to grab those 3 strings and make sure that they pluck cleanly. Both of those are perfectly acceptable ways to play it. You want to ultimately know how to do both. Okay, so there's that chord. Then we're going to repeat the 2. And then I got a 0, but I'm holding down a 2 on that by holding the chord. So I'm going to lift up that ring finger. And then I'm going to put it right back down under simple. Hit the 2 again, next 2, and then hit a 3, slide up. Okay, and now we're going to go back to the A chord and strum the whole thing. To be free. Hit the 0 and the 2. Now we're going to switch to the E chord at measure 3, and we're going to play just the inside strings. Hit the 2 zeros, strum it again. Now you're holding down a 1 on that string, so you got to slide it up to hit the 2, okay, and then slide it right back. Here's where you're going to add a finger. You're going to add your pinky on to get the 2, and get rid of the pinky. You're already holding that 1 down, so pluck that. And then 0, 2, 2. Going all the way to that 6th string. Okay, hit the 2 again. This is plain melody. I've played this lots of different ways. It seems like the only way to do it successfully is just lose the chord and play the 2, 1, 2. Now add your chord back on. I'm lost. There it is. Lift up your ring finger. Grab a full A chord here at measure 6. Hit the 0. Roll up to get the 3. Then back to get the chord. And lift up your ring finger to get the open. Okay. Then go to the E shape and measure 7. Start the upper 5 strings. Hit the 2 zeros. Add your 2 on. 2 by itself, lose the 2, go to the next page, and you go back to the A chord, ring finger up, and then strum. Beautiful. Okay, keep going, measure 9, full A chord, partial A chord, lose the ring finger, put it back, slide it up, slide it back, lose it, 3 strings, hit the 0, put your A chord back together, hit the 2, and a nice E chord, hit a 3 and a 2, E chord, add your pinky to get the 2, and then lose it, 4th string, go to your A chord, hit the 2 in the O, chord here. Open, slide up to get the 3, and then back to A. Hit the 0. Nice E7, or regular E chord, sorry. Hit the 2 zeros. Hit the 2. Hit the 2 and the 0. And then back to your A chord. Lose the ring finger. And then I've got it written within our harmonic here. You go up to the 12th fret. This is fret 12. The bar in front of the 12th fret, and hit very lightly, touch your 5th string, and then pluck it. And as you pluck, lift up on that light touch, and you get the harmonic. Okay. Another one you can do on your G string, which is your 3rd string, hold it at 2, that makes it an A string, and then you come down to your 14th fret and pluck it. You're going to lightly touch it with your index finger, and then pluck it with your thumb. Okay, at the 14th fret. Okay, that's also an A. That's an artificial harmonic. And the other one is a natural harmonic. Okay, so the only reason you would do this one is because it's a little higher pitched. It sounds kind of cool. Okay, so that's how you do artificial and natural harmonics. If you're doing natural, you can just pluck it. If you're doing artificial, you're going to fret something, and then use your index and your index and thumb together at 14. Oh, if I'd hold the right string, I'd get it. There we go. There it is. Gotta fret the right string. Have you ever fretted the one string and then played another? I just did. Okay, you guys ready to play the whole thing? We're ready to wrap it up for today. I feel like the lighting is so weird in here today. I apologize. All right. They told me on YouTube, you got to use natural lighting. So I'm using natural lighting, and it's turned out to be a bit of a challenge today. All right, big moment. We're getting ready to finish up. Okay, we're going to play this song top to bottom. We're going to not play it fast. Don't play fast. Slow down. Okay, grab your A chord. Okay, if you can play it with just strumming and singing right now, do it. Okay? If you can play only the tablature, one note at a time, do it. If you're ready to tackle the tough acts, then do that. Okay, I'm going to try to go as slow as I can to give you a fighting chance. Okay, and I'm just going to play it with my thumb. If you are working on playing it with your claw, do that. Whatever level you're working at, that's where we want you to be. And then over the next couple of days in your house, you're working on leveling up. Right? And biggest piece of advice I can give to everybody is slow down. Second biggest piece is stop playing all these songs. Pick a song. Pick a song. That's the next biggest thing. I'm not talking to you, of course, Mike. You can play everything, but for the most part, or Arlo too, he can play everything, right? Linda, I think you can play almost everything, right? And Jim, I'm pretty sure you can play everything. By the way, thank you guys for being here. It's delightful to see out so many of you here locally. So, all right, from the top. 1, 2, 3. that's it. That's it. Well, Linda's note. Now I can play slowly. Linda, I would a million times for every guitar player, for every musician, I would way rather you play slowly, right? Because once you can play it slow, you can always speed up. But if you can't play it slow, if you can't play it slow, you can't play it fast. And so take your time to play at a crazy slow pace. That's something that um, I get videos sent to me all the time. Did you see this player? Did you see this player? And they're awesome because they're playing at a crazy fast speed. Tamanay Gardner, who's a ukulele player, plays there at such a blistering pace. It's unbelievable. And you're like, that's what I want to do. That's how I want to play someday. But then when you look at her stuff that's more sensitive and more thoughtful and stuff she's written herself, it's just beautiful, slow, deeply thought through pieces. And so I think really great musicians can play slow and play fast, but you need to be able to play slow, and you need to be able to play with thoughtfulness and feeling and really mindfulness around that. It's one thing that most music, as we're coming up through music, and I was that guy for sure. I just wanted to play the next song and the next song and the next song and the next song, and I never, I could have done myself a huge favor by sticking with easier pieces and really working them through to a high level. And this is one of those pieces it's worth hanging on to. This song is a great song. Those of you who don't know, Aaron Copland rescued this song and put it in his New World Symphony, and since then a lot of research has gone into this song, and it's on ringtones now, and your doorbells will play it. And it is a really very peaceful piece. Not only two chords, really goes together quite nicely, and has a very very cool message behind it about bowing and bending but not breaking. And I think that's especially in times when we're all about ready to lose our minds being locked in the house. We need to bow and we need to bend, but we're not going to break. So good work today, guys. I hope that's helpful. And yeah, I'm sorry rebuffering, Linda. I didn't get a. Sometimes when it rebuffers, I get a little sign on here. I didn't see that today. So hopefully the internet recorded this correctly, and you can always go back and double check it. And that's another thing is we don't do often enough is just sitting back and playing with going back and reviewing recordings and playing along with whatever we were working on. So feel free. YouTube's just automatically saving all this stuff for us. So feel free to go back and check it. Glad you guys could take time to be here today. Tomorrow we'll go on to a level 3 song, and I don't remember which one it is off the top of my head, but it'll be good. So come on around tomorrow, same time, 5:45, and we'll play through that. These test lessons take about half hour, 45 minutes, and hopefully give you something to look forward to and something to do different, and maybe play a guitar in a new way. So have a wonderful night, you guys. It's snowing here in Denver, and hopefully it's warm and delightful wherever you are. Have a wonderful evening, and I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for being here.